2 days today. So hopefully fits the Philips R570 into that there hole. Now before we start, oh look, have we shown you the new parcel shelf? No holes, excellent. In here we have cables, which is good. I can see that those are blue because of course this had, well, this stereo fitted to it, which of course is wrong. So I'm just looking at the colour of the cables. That one's grey and a nice shade of pink by the looks of it, and black. So we've got blue, grey. So the blue and grey is that one. So that's going to be the rear left. Now it looks, as you can see here, see what you think everyone, but this is what I think someone has done in the past. Oh, by the way, this thankfully is the correct plug that deals with the power and the earth and the illumination feed, I guess, for the back of the unit, which is really good. However, we were missing speaker plugs, but the company that I will now put at the bottom on screen now for you was able to supply these. Do you remember these little DIN plugs? Let's pull one out, shall we? These, do you remember them? So I think what someone's done before is the head unit probably only had 2 outputs, so I think what they've done is they've joined wires together for the front and the back. So effectively you've just got a left and a right, and that would explain why you've only got 4 plugs effectively, because those 2 would make up one side and then these 2 would have been the other side. That's what I'm guessing, that's what I'm hoping anyway, because of course really you need 8 wires, because of course there's 2 on each speaker. 2 times 4, it's 8. Even my Birmingham mathematics knows that one, everyone. But I've now got to work out which each one is. Now of course there is another way of doing this, and that is providing I can work out what 2 wires are. I can just join those 2 wires up to the stereo temporarily, and then I'll know which one is actually working. But I'm hoping I can work out just by colour. Now it's time for a confession, everyone. In the late 80s, when I used to wire in car stereos, even for the power feed, I used to just use electrical tape and bind the wire together. But anyway, we're going to try and do it a bit better than that today. Although of course, as I've already said, the power feed's on a proper plug anyway, so I could get away, really, if I wanted to, with just binding the wire together and putting a bit of electrical tape on. But you know, let's try and do this properly. What do you reckon? So I think this grey wire and this grey and pink wire make up one speaker. That's what I reckon. But we can test that once we get the stereo working. Why do people fit non-standard stereos in cars and then chop up all the plugs? Just a nuisance. I was going to say something else then, but we'll just call it a nuisance. Right, before I do this, I have got to do the obvious, haven't I? Now the bulb in this lovely R570 has actually gone, but there's a guy this Sunday that apparently does them, probably do them while I'm actually there, which would be really awesome. But before that, I need to really try and see. I reckon I should just about see the characters on the display even without a backlight. I've just had a look at the wires again at the back, and they are actually quite logical, and somebody has joined basically front and rear wires together for the left and the right, and when you look at the colour coding, they kind of do make sense. So we've just, as a test, I've just joined what I think are the correct wires. It's a good job I wasn't in bomb disposal, wasn't it, everyone? But I do think these are the correct joins. So we're now going to plug the head unit back in again, and we're going to see if we can hear any sound whatsoever. That sound. Now I'm going to have to fast forward that sound probably because of copyright, or I'll just keep talking over it, but that is definitely sound. All I need to do now is, I know that's the left, or should I say the front left speaker. Just need to check which plug is plugged into the back of this unit and plug it into the correct one. See you in a minute. I now know that the front left is the yellow wires and the front right is the orange. We're getting somewhere, everyone. We are getting somewhere. Right, we'll test that out again. Key, stereo, cable, turn on. More smugness. We do have a slight problem now. Actually, no, we don't have a slight problem. I was going to say we have a slight problem because we don't know which one's left and right. We do know which one's left and right because we can see the wire hanging in the back of the car. So I'm just going to remind myself and write down the colours. We have the definitive answer, everyone. Just what colour are the speaker wires in a Metro? Front left are the yellows, front right are the orange, the rear rights are the greys, and the rear lefts are the blues. Right, let's crimp the rest of these bad boys up. We've got to fit that to there, but that protrudes too high, and because of that we're going to have to fit the grill bit from this fascia plate, not the fascia plate itself, because that just is too much and it won't work. But we've realised if we place that there, it works quite nicely. Problem is now it's fitting it into there. So put you back on then, everyone. So it's electrical tape time. The irony is I'm still using electrical tape at the end, but obviously I'm not using it for the actual connections themselves, just using it to secure the wires a bit better. That's the rear right done. That makes it now the rear left. Not that you may be able to even see what I'm doing, everyone, but then you might. Do do do. Mystify me. Do do do. Mystify me. Oh, you've got quite a lot of speaker cable, haven't we, that the previous owner, or one of the previous owners, has left for us. Nasty speakers in the parcel shelf, naughty person. 100 lines. Right. Could this be the last crimp of the day? Of course it could. Yeah. That's speaker cable. Before I go into the hassle of trying to fit the speakers up, which I may not even bother putting on camera because ultimately it's just that's 4 screws, isn't it? 3 screws. It's just 4 screws to hold the speaker in. But before we do anything else, I think we better plug a speaker in, don't you? Right, they're on. See in a minute. You might hear the music. I'm a happy man. I'll just show you the wiring. All done. I think it's quite neat. They've all got proper connectors on, and I've just taped them up as a bit of a bundle. Now we just need to get it back into the slot. Sit you there. Let's get her in. Aerial. Nope, just want to stay in there. Aerial. Power. Let's tuck these wires in the best we can. Push the unit in. There you go. Look. Oh recording. Now I appreciate when I turn it on and Phil comes on the radio, I'll turn him down because of copyright. I appreciate the display isn't on, but it's going to get sorted. But anyway, it's the correct head unit, everyone, and I'm a happy boy. Thanks for watching. See you later.